Good day, Market Chameleons, and everyone joining for the first time. Thanks for coming by and checking out the Market Chameleon webinar series. Before we get started, let's take a look at the shared disclaimer. Please be aware that neither Market Chameleon, Dimitri, or myself are registered investment advisors or a broker-dealer. If you're searching for investment advice, please reach out to a licensed professional. This show, as all our shows, is for informational purposes only concerning Market Chameleon tools and products. One last look at this disclaimer, and let's welcome Dimitri Pargamonic to the stage. How you doing, Dima?
Good morning, Will. How are you?
Great. Let me share your screen. Just so everyone knows, tomorrow's webinar will be a pre-recorded webinar. We are out for Yom Kippur. So just a heads up with that. I'll send out an email in the morning with that webinar. Thanks, Steve.
Thanks, Will. So good morning, everyone. We'll do today is take a look at our stock screener. So I'm going to navigate to it up here under stocks. Under screeners. We're going to go and click on stocks. This will take us to the stock screener, and we're going to take a look at today screening using the VWAP as our benchmark and comparing the VWAP price to the current price drift away from that VWAP. So let me navigate it to it first. And if you scroll, you see these different tabs up top in the screener shown as different data analytics. So I'm going to scroll all the way to the right here under VWAP. We're going to click on that. And this gives us a table with the different stocks. And if we go from left to right, we see this is the price of NVIDIA over here, the price change. And then here we have three numbers, the day's VWAP, and then the support and resistance based on the standard deviation movement away from the VWAP for the day. So what is the VWAP first? It's the volume weighted average price. And it's an important metric. It's referenced a lot, especially by institutions, because when we look at the fair value of the trade, where's the fair value? Where's the stock trading at? And if we took just a single trade, that doesn't represent the essence of the trading volume, because you could have 100 shares that traded at one price and then 10,000 shares that traded at a different price. So by giving that price where the most of the volume traded, it gives you that VWAP, where the essence, where have we traded? And when we think of VWAP, not only is a metric to look at, but there are specific trading order types that track that VWAP. And so when we when we think of like institutions that have lots of shares that they're trying to either buy or sell throughout the day, they'll reference the VWAP price throughout the day. And those orders, sometimes the orders are actually placed to get the VWAP price, to try to match the VWAP price, right? So they'll start out throughout the day, buying or selling shares. So by the end of the day, they try to actually match that VWAP price, and they'll do it in the dark pool, or they'll give it to Goldman Sachs, Knight, whatever, to work those orders. So the VWAP is an important metric. And here we see the VWAP price for the day. So the Market Chameleon, we keep track of the VWAP price ourselves, calculating it throughout the day. We have our own methodology where we do take out like certain trades, like contingent trades and so forth, just to get the traded volume that's not related to a different trade. When we have that VWAP price, we could also compare it to where did the stock drift away from it. Where are we now? And so you could see that here the VWAP price was $185.49 for NVIDIA, and the current price is $186.58. So it is above the VWAP, right? So it drifted higher. And we could also measure, well, how much higher did it drift in terms of, its volatility band, or, because the stock doesn't stay right at the VWAP, it'll move around. So to measure that, we keep track of the standard deviation moves of the stock relative to the VWAP as the day progresses. And that's what this support and resistance is. It shows you, one standard deviation down, one standard deviation up. Okay, so one standard deviation down is $184.39. One standard deviation up is $186.59. So here's the standard deviation in dollar terms. So by comparing it, right, we could see that we are within the band on the higher end of it, right? On the higher end of the band, up 99 cents versus $1.10. So so even though it's on the higher, it's a more bullish side, the stock's drifting higher from the VWAP, but it didn't, move outside that expected range of, standard deviation up or down. Okay. So this quickly lets us then compare, even in a table, how all the other stocks are doing. So we can see here, this is right now sorted by highest market cap. So if we go back up to the summary, you could see here that right now these are sorted by highest market cap. But if you click on any of these, it will resort. We're going to come back here to the VWAP. So we see that all these are trading above, right? Above the price is above their VWAP. So it kind of looks like just it's the market moving higher. And you can see by how much, right? So this is it in standard deviation terms, right? So this is sorry, it's not 99 cents. This is in standard deviation. So this here is above its VWAP by more than one standard deviation, 1.47. Okay, so this way we standardize it by standard deviations to give us an idea how far away it's moved out of its volatility range. So you look, for example, here's a stock VOO that's increased by 2 standard deviations away from its VWAP. 612. So it's by 2 standard deviations because it's above that volatility band. And then we could screen for situations if we're looking for something extreme that has fallen extremely below or rallied extremely above its VWAP price. So if we come back up here, let's go to price volume and technicals. When we click here on this first row, we see the VWAP versus price, or the VWAP versus price by percentage terms or by standard deviation. So let's say we wanted to look at stocks that have increased by more than 2 standard deviations away from its VWAP. Okay, so drift higher. So we're going to click on this. Now we have a list of stocks where the stock price, right, compared to the VWAP, right, so 612.38 compared to the day's VWAP is up by more than 2 standard deviations. Okay, so now we have this list, here's 4 standard deviations and so forth, that allows us to track these stocks that are displaying a bullish kind of trend or drift away. All right. SPY, for example, more than 2 standard deviations by the end of the day from its VWAP, days VWAP. Same thing if we wanted to go below things that fell by more than 2 standard deviations, we could click on this. Now these are showing weakness, right? These are a list of stocks that are falling. The C111 compared to its days VWAP by more than 2 standard deviations. So these are showing weakness. So when we look at and here's another important piece, is that when we look at the stock drift away from its VWAP, okay, we could be below its days VWAP, but the stock could be up on a day. So look, for example, here's a stock that's up on a day, right? So 6306 is up 0.3%, but it's below its VWAP. So it could have opened higher, right? Like the stock could have opened higher, traded a lot, and then started drifting back down, right? So this is what's going on here. That the stock, even though it's up on a day, it's starting to display weakness, drifting lower from its VWAP price. Okay, so it doesn't necessarily need to be down on the day, for this to happen. It could be up on a day. Think of a stock that gapped up, traded a lot, and then all of a sudden starts to drift lower and lower and lower, right? So you can do that here. So we could look at, price changes, for example, price any positive, right? Let's say we were looking at any positive. So the price change has to be positive by more than half a standard deviation, but it is drifting lower from its VWAP price. And we could do the opposite if we're looking for stocks that maybe opened lower, traded a lot, and started to recover or drift higher. So I'm going to stop right here. I wanted to show this screen quickly and this data table.
Yeah, that was very helpful, D. Thanks for bringing this webinar to the Chameleon community. Just a reminder, everyone, tomorrow's webinar will be sent in the morning, and that's a pre-recorded webinar. We are off tomorrow. Great job as always, D. Thanks for bringing it to the Chameleon community.
Thanks, everyone. Stay safe out there. Have a great trading day, and we hope to see you on Friday.
All right, D. Have a great day and stay safe out there. We'll see you on Friday. Bye-bye. Hey, everyone. Thanks for joining. If you're here for the first time, remember you can take a 7-day free trial with Market Chameleon. Just go in the upper right-hand corner, right where it says Start My Free Trial. That's available for you. Everyone else, remember, thumbs up, like us, follow us on all the social platforms, particularly if you're on YouTube. Thumbs up are very helpful. So everyone have a great day. Stay safe out there, and we will see you on Friday live again. Have a great day. Bye-bye.